We got 52Toys Nook Action Figure Base in the mail today. I actually have no plans to buy this, since it's not in scale with my Nook Blindbox figures, but I actually pulled the trigger and bought it anyway, because I really like Nook. At first glance, the box reminds me of Pop Mart's Hirono Little Mischief, maybe because it's black and white and it gives off that collage feel. But the difference is Hirono uses magazine and newspaper clippings, and this one uses doodles and sketches. The box is covered in plastic. Let's peel that off and get the figure out. First impression about the box is that it's matte but laminated, giving it a bit of a glossy feel. If you've been buying Nook Blindbox figures, the boxes are actually textured with a nice matte finish, giving it that premiumness. Unfortunately, the box design feels somewhat cheap, with a repetitive pattern that seems to be talking gibberish and illustration that is drawn like a generic doodle that you can find in sites like FreePic. The slipcover is somewhat tight and I can't pull out the inner box. Let's pull it out off cam. The inner box is similar to the outer sleeve, except that it has a clear window so you can see what the actual figure looks like. For those who don't know 52Toys, they're kind of similar to Pop Mart. They are a China-based toy company who also does Blindbox figures. Nook happens to be one of their more popular IPs. Know what? Nook actually looks like a young Eminem with that short blonde buzz-cut hair. Not much is known about Nook, but all we know is he's a quiet, somewhat imaginative kid who's very creative and likes to build a lot of crafts. As a character, Nook reminds me a lot of Pop Mart's Hirono. Both are young boys who have wild imaginations, but Hirono borders on the emo. There's a sense of melancholy and sadness in his design, while Nook is on the happy, positive end of the spectrum. Hirono, however, makes you think, especially on the title of his toys. Nook is what you see is what you get. Don't get me wrong, I like them both. Let's have a close look on the gibberish in Nook's box. It says here, he likes doodling and making crafts. Kind and sweet, shy and quiet. He likes doodling, observing the blank. Nook is an artist, and the doodles and sketch here reminds me of blueprints with notes. Honestly, as an art director, the design pattern in the package feels cold and machine-made. It would be great if the patterns and words are not repetitive and very well thought out, since these words describe what Nook is. This cat is my little friend. Hope Nook can be your new friend. You can find that tidbit a lot of times just at the back and almost beside each other. It's finally time to open the box. The figure is encased in a two-piece clear plastic acrylic tray, so it won't wobble around. You also get a card that seems a bit larger than your average trading card. The tray has no tapes and no twisties, which makes it a breeze, taking the actual figure out. Ah, new plastic smell. The figure is wrapped in plastic, probably so that the trays won't scratch the surface. On hand, this figure is actually awesome and made of very high-quality material. It feels like a vinyl toy. The card design uses some patterns from the packaging. It doesn't really say a lot about the figure compared to the cards that came from the blind boxes. Articulation-wise, the description says that you can move his hands. Actually, he has arm swivel. The joints are just right, so you can move both arms with ease. The shirt keeps getting wrinkled when you move it though, because the fit is a bit loose. I forgot to shoot it, but you can actually remove the arms and put it back in the socket. I absolutely love the flocked hair texture on the Nook figures. Even the small blind box ones have it. You can turn his head 360 degrees with ease. I wish they made his arms ball jointed so you can give him more depth in terms of movement. I was trying to move his legs because the description in the site says he has articulation on the legs, but the movement is actually a swivel located in his ankles, where his shoe is. I really like the way the shoes look. On the left, if you look at the bottom, you can see the Nook logo and 52 toys. The right shoe doesn't have it, probably so you won't get confused when you take them out. He's wearing boxer shorts. There's the Nook logo on the garter. Let's test the main attraction in this figure, which is the movable eyeballs. The eyeballs is made of glass-like material, giving it that realistic gloss that any actual eye has. Just use your fingers to move his eyes. Here he's looking left. I'm trying to make him look up, but I can't. Maybe that's where the eye joints are. But he can easily look down. The eye movement is a really cool feature and gives range to the emotions in his face. Again, his hair is flocked. Be careful not to get dirt on it. I love the way it rubs on my fingers and the small hair doesn't fall off. Good job, 52 Toys. One of the main highlights of this figure is customization. You can remove the clothes and change them. To remove his shorts, you have to take off the shoes first, then slide those trousers off, exposing his boxer briefs with the word Nook printed in the garter. Unfortunately, 52 Toys hasn't produced any alternative clothing yet. They have a pic of him with a blue hoodie on their site, but unfortunately, they didn't include it in the pack. To remove the t-shirt, you have to take the head off first. It easily pops out, no fear of getting it damaged. Pop! And then you raise his arms up. There you go. Then slide that t-shirt all the way up. Be a bit careful though. Although the shirt is made of quality material, there's this fear of ripping it off. 52 Toys suggested that for now, look for clothes that fit OB bodies, the one they use on the Nendoroid dolls. But I really hope that down the line they make clothes and accessories exclusive for the action-based figures. What I like about this nude body is that there's some paint detail they applied. There is a soft flesh gradient that sort of gives it that nice blush. Let's put this boy on our rotating display, give it that 360-degree spin. Awesome looking base figure, honestly. If there's one thing I wish they included as his accessory, I wish that they gave us his cat, Jumi. Is that too much to ask for? Speaking of accessories, if you look at his hands closely, there's a small gap where you can make him hold objects. Be warned though, although it looks like soft plastic, it's actually hard. And I had a difficult time placing objects in between those fingers. Here, he's holding Pop Mart Kubo's skateboard. The Jumi cat here actually came from one of the Blindbox figures. I'm glad that it looks proportionate. But like I said, I wish they included the cat in the first place. Here we're trying to make him hold a bullhorn that again came from one of the Blindbox figures. Unfortunately, the handle is a bit thick. We managed to make him hold it, but barely. I wish they included extra arms with different poses and grip size. The Nook base action figure stands at approximately 14 centimeters, or around 5.5 inches in height. Beside the basic Nook Blindbox, it's almost half the size. Here he is beside a Mezco 112 blade figure. He's smaller than your average 6-inch figure. He actually looks great, displayed beside my Nook figures. He looks plain though. A body bag or a cardboard helmet will go a long way when you display him. I actually got him some clothes. Here, we have a Nobita hoodie, the Doraemon anime. It looks good on him. I think it's 52 Toys' intent that you can customize Nook so he can be your travel buddy, same as those Labubus. Final thoughts. This is a great figure, a bit overpriced, undiscounted. It costs around 3,400 pesos or 57 US dollars. With points and vouchers, I managed to bring down the price at $2,400 in the Lazada app. Even with that price, I think it's barely worth it, because the figure is so plain, no accessories. The attire it comes with isn't detailed compared with the ones Pop Mart does. I love Nook, so I gave this a chance. Hopefully 52Toys up their game, especially when it comes to Nook. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next review.